Welcome back to Believe in Colts. I'm Lawrence Owen. With me, as usual, is my guy, Jerraud Powers. And today we have a very special guest, Jerraud. Let's help me welcome in Bryan Cox Jr., defensive end for the Indianapolis Colts. Bryan, how are you doing, man?
Man, I'm great, man. I can't complain. I'm doing really well.
Man, how are you liking the indie culture, the indie scene so far since you've been there for a few days?
So yeah, man, I had went up for a mandatory mini camp, and I was up there for a few days, and everything. Honestly, it was real cool because I've been on about let's see, it's my fourth team now,
Mm-hmm.
and I just feel like the culture and just like kind of everything in the building, everything just kind of flows real smooth, and everybody's like real cool, friendly. It's a real
Yeah,
good
real
like team
family oriented.
atmosphere.
I said the same thing when I got to Indianapolis as a rookie, man. Everything just seemed real family based, real family oriented.
Right.
Yeah, you talk about your fourth team. Obviously, you started out with the Carolina Panthers, played
Hmm.
a short stint with the Cleveland Browns, was in Buffalo back in 2020.
Hmm.
Last year, you had your IR situation, which we'll get
Yeah.
to that later. I was just curious with how you've been in the league for a little while. You've
Mhm.
had some experience with different teams. A lot of young guys on this team. How are you going to use your experience in life and football to help mentor the youth?
Yeah, man. So I feel like that's one of the things when I first came into the league, I had, older guys that brought me under their wing, Mario Addison, Charles Johnson. I just had a bunch of or Julius Peppers. I was in the room with a lot of experienced guys and guys that played a lot of ball in this league. So I feel like it's all about bringing the younger generation on, and just, encouraging them, teaching them things that they may not know, may not have learned, in their previous stops or whatever like that. And just trying to, teach and groom the next generation of football players.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports development, including the NHL Hockey Conference Finals, Major League Baseball, and the latest fighting news, even next year's early NFL futures. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet online, where the game starts.
Yeah, that sounds good. You said that you mentioned just a second ago that you've been on a couple teams now and now finding your place in Indy. What do you think you need to do going into this season to try to find that niche? I know I've talked to a couple guys that have bounced around, and all of a sudden, they found that one team to where it just works. The culture's right, the system fits. They're using your strengths the way they need to. What do
Mhm.
you think you need to do to show Indy that you can fit in this scheme to where you can kind of stay around for a little bit if you get the opportunity to play?
I just believe first, man. I just think I'm a ball player, so I don't care what scheme. I don't. It doesn't matter. I just feel like any system, I can do whatever. I can stand up. I can put my hand in the dirt. So I'm just trying to show versatility. Show I could do the special team stuff. I could do. I'm going into year 6. I can still run. I can still do all of those things that maybe a year 1 or 2 guy can do. And it's just like I also have the edge and experience. You know what I'm saying? I've been out there. I've played in real NFL games, playoff games. So it's just like I feel like it's an extra little edge of experience and then just knowing football so well.
I'm sure you get asked an awful lot by everybody. Hey, man, do you know Bryan Cox? So I was just wondering, with having a father that's been so prominent in the NFL in the past, and growing up and having his name, what's that like with you right now?
I mean, I'm my own man, honestly, first
Mm-hmm.
and foremost, but that experience has been I'm trying to find a word for it. It's really a double-edged sword because as many people that like my father, there's a lot of people that didn't like him. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got to check your temperature first to see which side you're on, if you like him or didn't, when you bring his name up. But I mean, overall though, everybody I've came across that has mentioned him, they mentioned about the passion he played with. If he was on your team, you loved him. If he wasn't on your team, if he was the opposition, you hated him. So it's always been, pretty relatively good feedback and just, you know, um, everybody obviously asks me that question when they see my full name. And I just, I embrace it for sure. That's my pops. Love him to death. And, he was a great player for sure. It was all right.
And for you and your upbringing, kind of born into the NFL, knowing your dad's still coaching in the league today, so
Mhm.
the NFL literally has not left you guys as family, especially with you now playing. What is some of the things your dad maybe have taught you coming up, or taught you now that you're a professional, kind of how to stay in the league, how to stay around? What are some of the pointers that he give you going forward in your journey in the NFL?
I mean, man, it started when I was way back in. I started playing football when I was 6 years old. At that age, you don't really know too much of what's going on. You kind of just out there playing. But I feel like as I got more into high school, he was still coaching. So he was coaching me almost like one of his own players. So it became real critical. After every game, he would critique me and, let me know where I could improve and stuff like that. But the main thing I feel like was from an early on age, he always had me like watching film with him. You know what I'm saying? Like if he was watching film or something like that, breaking down players, breaking down anything, he would always try to like bring me over and teach me, this is how you break this down, this is how you break that down. And I feel like that helps a lot because you only get a limited amount of time during the week to prepare for a game. And you got to kind of, manage that time accordingly. And if you know how to break down film, I feel like that really helps accelerate, your process for that week.
Mm.
Every NFL player, every sports player, in order to get to the pro level, you got to overcome obstacles in life. You yourself, I'm sure you have a list of obstacles that you've had to overcome, including 1 year ago today, you were put on IR for, an Achilles injury. I'm wondering if you could, I know that talking about injury is kind of a no-no. You guys don't really like to talk about your
Mhm.
injuries, but I'm a little bit about your rehab process, how you are now, and some other obstacles in life that you've had to overcome to get to where you are now.
Oh yeah, man. So yeah, last year what was it, June 15th, man. So it was a little over a year now. I was just, first day of mandatory mini camp, doing something I've done 1,000 times, literally just a little bounce, skip step, about to go into a drill, just a little gather step. And then yeah, man, I just came down. I thought somebody kicked me. I looked back, nobody was there. And then trainers came over, they checked me out, and then pretty much, carted me in. And it was confirmed. And I went and got an MRI and all of that type of stuff. But yeah, it's just it was a really interesting rehab because I feel like being out of ball for that long, like that was the first year I hadn't been in ball in, I don't know, maybe 10 years, so it's like you have to really reflect and kind of like find something else that, can grab your attention. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that stimulus of ball, like, you know what I'm saying? So it really was difficult, but at the same time, I felt like it was really good for me as my development as a man, just to be able to, okay, the one thing that was taken from me that I kind of identified my whole life around. Then you have to kind of figure out, other things. I started picking up books, reading a little bit, just trying to gain some knowledge, man. Just try to take that next step because I feel often a lot of us become stagnant in our regular everyday lives because when you're depending on ball and that's all that's all that's in your mental space, you have no room for anything else. You know what I'm saying? But when that's taken away, I feel like you kind of get a chance to really, see things with a different lens.
Hey, you talked about being in the room with Julius Peppers, Mario Addison, and it's funny you bring up Mario because I actually played with him when he was on the Colts.
Oh yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah, that's my guy as well from Birmingham, Alabama. I always rep for my Bama guys. But what are some of the things? Because, I mean, those are two well known, proven vets. Mario kind of got it out of the mud. Julius Peppers, obviously, high round pick. But Mario is a true example of really getting it out of the mud and making a name for himself and being one of the best pass rushers in the league. What are some of the things that you was able to learn from those guys that you instill in your everyday process now?
Man, I'll never forget my first day. So obviously, y'all know I was an undrafted rookie, coming into the league, this going into my 6 year. So, God is good. My very first day going into Carolina, Mario was there. He was working out or something. He had just got done working out. We was me, maybe like three other guys. We had a workout, you know. So he comes in and literally like we're all like kind of sitting in this little area. And I'll never forget. He just came in there and was like, man, whatever y'all do, y'all go hard. Y'all leave it all out there. You know what I'm saying? He kind of gave us some positive words. And me, I was, I'm not used to that. I'm thinking, oh, this guy plays the same position as me. He don't want, he don't want me in here. But at the same time, it never was that with him. It was always, yeah, I'm trying to bring the other guys along. I'm trying to bring everybody, up. So I always felt like that was one of the things I've taken away from him is not, never to hate on the youth and hate on the younger guys coming up. You want to help those guys, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the next generation. Like it's never like been a situation where you can't be scared to compete in this league. So why not, try to help and bring somebody else along? I feel like you're not trying to do that, then it shows you kind of scared to compete, in my opinion.
Speaking of other guys, you like you said, you was part of the mini camp here for the Colts, and now there's a couple guys that obviously wasn't part of mini camp. Darius Leonard obviously had that back surgery. Kenny Moore tweaked something, on day one. I'm wondering, was there any guys on the field where you got on the team and you got out there and you started practicing and you were like, this dude caught your eye, like, wow, that's something that's different that I haven't seen.
Well, I mean, honestly, the tempo was pretty like dialed down, so it wasn't really one of those situations where I got to evaluate anybody else or anything like that. It was pretty slow walkthrough, type tempo. So I guess during camp I'll be able to, have a better idea of, some of those things.
What are some of the things that you think you can bring to this defense going forward? I mean, we hear all the talk about Matt Ryan, we hear all the talk about what we got to do offensively and all those things, but we're starting to hear a lot of the chatter about the pieces we brought over to the defensive side of the ball, and now with you that added piece, especially with the pass rushers that we have already, trying to find that depth, trying to get that whole room solidified. What do you think you can bring to the table so the Colts fans got something to look forward to going into training camp?
Man, I bring energy and intensity, man. That's my thing, man. I'm gonna go hard every play. We're gonna have fun out there. I'm gonna get the guys around me to elevate and play better, just through positive reinforcements and just we just gonna have a good time. That's the first and foremost. I feel like people always lose sight of the fact that football is a game that you started playing when you were a kid. So I feel like if you lose that fun, obviously in the NFL it's a business. Don't get that twisted. But if you boil it down, football is a game that you started playing when you were a child, and I feel like if you lose that, that's when you lose your spark, and you can't never lose that edge. You know what I'm saying? So I just try to bring great energy, intensity, fire. You know what I'm saying? Great effort, all of that.
You bring that effort and energy. You try to bring all that, and throughout your career, you've had kind of situations, as you said, this is your fourth team. You
Mhm.
kind of bounced on and off of practice squads through
Mhm.
your career. How do you keep that energy and that focus in order, from your situations, not knowing whether you'll be playing week, this week or that week?
It's tough. It's definitely not something that's easy. But like when you love the game, you know what I'm saying. It's not
Mm-hmm.
that hard. You know what I'm saying. I just feel like it kind of the love for the game takes over like whatever situation you may be facing. If you still love ball, you're gonna love ball regardless. Like it's not gonna be a situational thing. So I just feel like you got to just continue to love the game and give the game everything you got, and then it'll reward you. So you just got to keep going and stay consistent.
Got you, man. I guess the last question I have for you is as a pass rusher, and I know one of the greatest pass rushers of all time that lives in Indianapolis that work with pass rushers on a daily basis. Have you
Mhm.
reached out to Robert Mathis, or if anybody got a chance to reach out to be able to go and work with him on a possibly?
I have not, but I definitely would like to. That'd be great, man. I used to watch him and Dwight growing up, man. Those two used to get after it, man.
It
So
was
that definitely would be, I feel like a good experience, to gain some knowledge and some more experience working with him.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to end this with a more of a lighthearted question, not so focused on football. A little bit about you.
Mhm.
Could you give guys a little information about you? Some of your likes, type of movies you enjoy, the
Oh
food
man,
restaurants you go and check out. Things, video games. What's up with you, man?
man. So listen, I'm a big foodie. I love food. I'm a big seafood guy. I love oysters, crab legs, all that type of stuff. My favorite place probably. So I live in Atlanta. My favorite place to go to in Atlanta is CNS Oysters.
Oh yeah.
Man, they oysters are crazy. But yeah, I played the video games here and there. I play Madden, a little Call of Duty, stuff like that. Um, I got a dog. I like to, kick with my dog, take him on walks and stuff like that. A little bully. He be chilling. He's a real good dog, man. And I just like to hang out, man. Honestly, work out pretty much every day. go hang with my mom, my sister. You know what I'm saying? I just pretty family oriented, like my time with my fam. And then yeah, man, I just get back to ball. It's kind of like a cycle every year, man. You just kind of fall into it.
Man, I'll tell you what, you like seafood. Indy's kind of got a special restaurant in town, well
Don't tell me
known,
that
called,
now.
called St. Elmo's. All
St.
right.
Elmo's, okay.
Yeah, you need to go check that out while you're in town.
I'll
I
definitely
promise
gonna
you.
check that one out.
All
St. Elmo.
right. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Jerraud?
No, I was telling them check out Country Kitchen too. You're looking for a soul food
Okay.
spot. Country Kitchen is the
Country
best
Kitchen.
soul food spot in Indy. Trust
You
me.
ain't got to tell me twice. That's my second favorite kind of food right there. That's soul
Right
food.
there. Yeah, oh yeah, I love soul food too, man. Oh, all right, man. Anything you want to let the viewers and listeners know, Bryan, before we go? Something that we hadn't covered or anything?
Man, I think we covered everything, man. Just everybody out there, just keep going hard every day. No matter what you do, no matter what it is you do, just go hard at it, and then it's gonna reward you. Just keep going.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much. This was Believe in Colts, brought to you by Bet Online. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That was Jerraud Powers with us, special guest Bryan Cox Jr. And until next time, go Colts.
Go Colts.